So tell me, how did you get your start in music?
My start in music, I got it, my parents always kind of played music, and then when I was about 7 or 8 there were free piano lessons in school, so I was like, I'll go and see about that. And then I started studying piano, but then when I was about 12 or 13, my grandma had the acoustic guitar for a while. She was learning kind of, well, she wasn't really learning, but a family friend picked it up and kind of introduced me to chords and a few bands, you know, like Mazzy Star and the Civil Wars and just a few bands that came into my life, Black Motorcycle Club, and I kind of got a little bit obsessed with blues via that, you know, so I started digging back to Son House and all the while trying to like learn it on the dining room floor, and yeah, so since then I started gigging when I was 14 and the rest is history.
So your debut album is out now. Tell me, how does it feel to have that out?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's like, because you're left with without any more songs to release, so then you've got to start immediately writing the next to feel like safe again. So I mean, it's fantastic. I'm so glad everyone can get an idea of who I am, not just by a certain dimension, like not just by guitar or piano, you know, it's this combination of work. So I'm pretty thrilled to have it out.
What does the album specifically mean to you?
I mean, this album is kind of like your biography in a way, because it's everything to do with my life. It's naturally self-indulgent, I say, because your debut is always about yourself. So every song I can imagine where I was, who I was with, who I was writing it about, and that's pretty special to have them memories in your head of good times and bad.
Cool, so you performed Lottery earlier today. Who is that about, or what is that about?
Lottery, yeah. Lottery is one I always laugh about on stage because it's like a bit of a tongue-in-cheek one. It's about an ex of mine. And like I said, when I moved to London at 16, I started gigging in a blues bar called Spiritual Bar. And there's a Brazilian owner there called Rafa who kind of became a bit of a mentor of mine. And anyway, I met this ex through this bar because we were both playing. And it's kind of just tells this story about, you know, when you kind of go back and forth with a person because you can't quite break up. And it just tells the story of this conversation we had in that bar about that, you know, and then it explores the metaphor, you know, you used to tell me love is a lottery. But he didn't say that. It's not that poetic.
Have you been to the bar since?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not as much as I want to. It was like my second home for a really long time, but obviously now I'm traveling. But yeah, I go there quite a bit.
Do you still think of him when you go? Or?
No, it's not quite as deep as that. I like to kind of burn things, and therefore you never think about them with a sentimental touch, you know. I definitely don't think about that with a sense of longing, put it that way.
So you're going to start a tour with Father John Misty and Jason Isbell. What are you most looking forward to?
I am a huge fan of them both as artists. I love both their catalogues, you know, that some of my favourite songs. I mean, Elephant by Jason Isbell is just the most beautiful track I've ever heard, and Father John Misty, like all his albums contain some of the best lyrics I think that's been written. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to actually sticking around and watching their set and just playing in front of the crowds. It's a lot of outdoor shows. I don't play them apart from festivals, so we'll see.
So I know that you kind of just started your career, but I'm curious, like, what's been the most challenging aspect of it all so far?
The most challenging aspect, I mean, there's like this kind of, not to talk about memes, but there is one that's kind of like a guy, you know, walking across the street going, yeah, I'm so great, like banging a drum, and then he's in bed kind of going, oh God, I hate my life. And I think, you know, keeping up your self-esteem to a certain level that is kind of you can create with is probably the hardest thing, because you kind of go through these things where you think everything's great and it could be the best it could possibly be, or everything's terrible. But I guess that's just being a bit manic of a person. Every kind of artist I think you find is a little bit like that. So probably finding calm.
What's something outside of music that you really care about?
Something outside of music I really care about. I mean, it depends in what sense. Outside of music, like hobbies, I love, you know, writers and I love books. But something I feel really passionate about is probably just other young women. I think especially since becoming 21 and playing these shows and realizing that the message in my songs can relate in a way, because I mean it's my life as a young woman basically. So there's a lot of things in America right now that I feel passionate about. Being able to give young women the strength and make them feel empowered. That's something I really care about.
What's up, y'all? This is B.O.B.
This is G-Eazy.
I'm Mo. This is Julia Michaels.
This is Logic. Make sure you subscribe to the Recording Academy channel. Flex.